Hi, 8th grade. So we're going to be reviewing all the things that we've learned about equations this week. Our first example is right here. We need to look and see if we can simplify either side of the equation. This number outside of the parentheses tells you we can do what? We can distribute. So I need to distribute this -5 to both numbers. So we have -5 times 4x, which is -20x. And then -5 times +2, which will be -10 or -10. The next side of the equation stays the same. All right, can you simplify either side of this equation any further? No, you can't, because we have unlike terms on both sides of the equation. So what can we do? We can move one of our x's over to the other side so we get all our x's together on one side of the equation. Which one do I want to move? Do I want to move the -20x or the 2x? I want to move the -20x. How can I do that? I can add 20x to both sides of the equation. -20x plus 20x is 0, so I'm just left with -10. And then on this side, I'm left with 22x plus 1. Still trying to get these x's by itself. What do I need to do next? Subtract 1 on both sides. -10 minus 1 equals -11, which equals 22x. 1 minus 1 is 0, so they cancel out. Last thing I can do is divide by 22. You don't have to divide, but how can you simplify -11 over 22? What can you divide by? If you have -11 over 22, you can divide by 11 on the top and the bottom. You'll get -1/2. So x equals -1/2, or -1/2 equals x. Moving on to the next problem. Now we can distribute on both sides of our equation in order to solve this. So let's start with distributing on the left side. What will we end up with when we distribute? We'll have 10x minus 8. We can also distribute on the right side of the equation. What will we end up with on the right side of the equation when we distribute? We'll have 16x minus 8. Can either side of this equation be simplified any further? Nope, because we just have unlike terms. So what do I need to do now? I need to get all my x's over to one side of the equation. Do I want to move my 10x or my 16x? I always want to move the smaller one because it makes it easier. So let's subtract 10x on each side of the equation. This side of the equation, what am I left with? -8. And what am I left with on the other side of the equation as well? 6x minus 8. Still trying to get this x by itself. What can I do? Add 8 to both sides. -8 plus 8 is 0. So what am I left with for the whole thing? 0 equals 6x. Does this mean that the equation has no solution? Let's continue solving to find out. We can now divide by 6. Divide by 6. 0 equals x. Is there a solution? The answer is yes, there is a solution. The only way this equation is ever true is if x equals 0. So just because x equals 0 doesn't mean there's no solution. There is one solution. The third question we have to which side of the equation can we simplify? We can simplify both sides of the equation. What can I do on the left side? I can't distribute because I don't have any parentheses, but I can just combine my like terms. So -2x minus 5x, -7x plus 7. And then on the other side, what can I do to simplify this? I can distribute. -7 times x is -7x. -7 times -1, we're distributing that negative, is plus 7. I have the exact same thing on both sides of the equation. What does this mean? This means that the answer is infinite solutions, or x equals any number. Go ahead and try the challenge problem on your own, and then we'll go over the answer together. Challenge problem, you start by distributing. When you distribute, you will get negative 0 8/10 plus, because of negative times a negative, 4 equals negative 0.2 times 5x, which equals negative 1x minus 1.2, or 1 2/10. Now you can get rid of the smaller one. The negative 1x is smaller. So if we add 1x to both sides, you'll end up with, this is the tricky part, you're actually subtracting them because you're adding with different signs. So you do 1.0 minus 0.8, carry the 1, and you get 2/10. So this is 2/10. I lost my x. Oh, no. Never mind. I added it to the wrong side, so it's not as tricky. So plus 1x equals 5x. You got rid of it on this side. You're just left with 1 2/10. Negative 8/10 plus 5x. Now you need to get rid of the 8/10, add it to both sides. Okay, sorry. So you're adding 8/10 to both sides. You'll end up with 5x equals negative 1.2 plus 8/10. You need to subtract them. So this is negative 4/10. You keep the sign of the bigger number. And then you have negative 0.4 divided by 5, which you can finish up on your own to find the answer. Go ahead, finish up the worksheet, and then there's another challenge problem on the back as well as a graded problem. Good luck.